Welcome back to the channel. Today we are trying to get our Star Wars stuff ready, as we do have a little tournament event thing. It's to try and sort of just play some games. There's a lot of new players, there's a lot of people just picking it up. There's a lot of people that don't get to play often enough, so we're trying to run as many Star Wars bits as we can at the shop, and that's one of these. I myself haven't played since before Christmas, so almost a month now. Probably even longer, probably quite a bit before that, so maybe 2 months. It's been a little bit of time off. Obviously Christmas was very hectic, but we are back to it now. We've been playing a ton of games. We did grab a Star Wars game earlier this week when I'm filming this. This is sort of filmed at the end of everything. But the idea for this video is I am gonna paint an army ready for this event. So for Christmas, I got some Wookiee warriors. I got a land speeder earlier last year, which I still haven't touched. I've got Han, I've got Chewie, I've got a load of bits that I haven't played and I haven't even painted yet or built up. So we're gonna do that in this video, try and get everything ready. I started this just over a week, almost 2 weeks before the event, which is actually tomorrow at the time of filming this. So this is sort of future me speaking to you. We are gonna get to the stuff I've prepared ready for this event thing. I won't spoil if we get everything made in time, but we do get a portion of it done to some okay standard, to tabletop standard. I am really proud of some of it, honestly, and there is a tie-in with like Boba Fett on currently, so let's get into the video. Obviously, first things first, we need to get these boys primed, so we are going to do that in a grey. There's not really a great colour. I could do them in the brown, but I did buy some online where they were pre-primed, and the brown did drown it out a bit. It was also quite hard to lift some of them colours back in, and we still had to go over it anyway. So it didn't really add much to it in the end. I also don't have a brown, more importantly, which is why we are going with the grey. Obviously, I'll leave that outside for a little while, not to inhale all those fumes in this great British weather. So I thought I'd start with the big hairy boys, the Wookiees, and this model immediately caught my eye. I've been watching Boba Fett and the Mandalorian and stuff, so this character jumped out as that character for me. I wanted to do different colour schemes for them all anyway, so I'm going to try and make this the version from Boba Fett. Really interesting character, really cool looking character, powerful looking character, so fits perfect for this. We might get him down the line, but I don't mind having 2 of them, and it's nice to have one now. Even if he's not officially one, it's nice to have him in the games. And in my own little world, he can be. So, yeah, we're going to paint this guy up the sort of pale grey, black colour. So, we'll see how it turns out. So, like I said, I've done a few different tones here. I've done like a really light brown, some darker browns, a reddish brown, and then a black. I'm actually quite happy with how these have turned out. As I say, these are just base coats. I will do some dry brushing to bring this out a little later on, and some washing on different areas, but I'm quite happy with how they look right now. So again, with these Wookiees, I want a few different tones, so I am actually going to wash them in different colours. We've got Skeleton Horde, we've got Guilliman Flesh, so I am just going to drown them in this. Try a few different things out so you guys don't have to, so if you like a particular Wookiee, let me know which Wookiee in the comments below. And let me know if you use any of these for your own Wookiees. Probably not, because like I say, I am no expert at this, and you guys probably have much better ideas on how to get it done. And then I'm just going to dry brush on top of that and try and bring out some of the colours on the edge of the hair. So yeah, just finishing final touches to these guys now, just adding some metallic colours on the shoulder pads and the blades and the guns, all of that stuff, to try and get them finished off. But I think we are almost there. I have tried to paint just the ones I'm going to be using, so obviously I'll add a bowcaster and shield. So that brings us to 8 Wookiees I need to do, which should work out perfectly. I really like the look of this guy as well. I think the colours have come out really well. The wash on top of that Bane Lord Brown, I think it was. As you saw at the start of the video, this video is sponsored, so I just want to give a quick shout out to the Magnet Baron. Now basically what he does is he creates solutions, magnet solutions, for your Star Wars. He does do Warhammer as well, I think, and some X-Wing, but we're focusing mainly on Star Wars Legion here because that's what we play. But it gives you options to do stuff like magnetize your crafts so you can take them off easier when you want to travel, or magnetize certain bodies. Like for me, it's the dewback, so I can change out the tops. Stuff like that that make the game experience a little easier, makes your figures a little safer on the thing, and a little more customizable. So if you want to check that out, click the link in the description. It's an affiliate link, so that will help me out massively if you do. Hopefully this helps some of you looking for solutions of what you've been trying to do yourself, or just somewhere you can get magnets that you know are going to work at a good price. Back to the video. They've actually come out okay. I'm going to be honest, I quite like these. Some of them are a little more red or a little darker than I wanted, but these lighter brown colours with the skeleton horde on top, absolutely love how these have come out. Really happy with my Wookiee so far. We are going to finish off this guy first though, as he is my favourite by a country mile. Yeah, really excited to get this guy on the table. But he's looking quite finished now. I just think he needs a wash. Wookiees down. We obviously don't end here though. We've also got an airspeeder. I'm going to be honest, the base coat on this and a lot of the colour is just going to be one colour, so I'm not going to waste your time going through it all. But first we need to stick it together. But here is what we are finished with, or here's what we have left afterwards. I'm very happy with how these Wookiees have come out. I think they're going to look really good on the tabletop, especially for my standard anyway. We are almost there. This has taken me, I'm going to be honest, I've not focused on just painting, so I haven't rushed these. It's taken me about a week to get all of this done, along with the land speeder, which we'll move into next. So here's the land speeder I finished. I was sort of doing this on my lunch breaks and stuff, so I didn't get a lot of time to film any of this. It was very much, I put on the brass colour and then I've just weathered it. So what I've done is I've dry brushed on sand colours because I'm going for a sandy base. I've scratched it slightly, scuffed it up a bit. I've dabbed it on different colours, some greens, some metallic colours to look like the paint stripped. Just a few different combinations of stuff to try and get. I'm actually quite happy with how this has turned out. It'll look very good next to my airspeeder. I will say the one thing I have messed up on these bases is I've gone too heavy on the red. It's sort of taken all the sand colour out of it now, and it's not really going to match up too great with my other bases. But yeah, there's not a lot I can do here. I think they're okay. I don't think they're bad. It's just, yeah, it's not the best base work. I have added some rocks and grass onto my land speeder. I might have been calling it an air speeder. It's because I've got one of those to the side as well ready. But that is my selection of characters. The guy running the event said just bring some stuff and we'll work out things when we get there. We'll build some things. But I feel like since I've made these characters, I should probably build them into something. Maybe give you guys some ideas for armies you want to run around these same characters. So we're going to take a look at some Wookiee lists and some speeder lists, even just what you can run on them, so different attachments, different upgrades. So we're going to go into that next. Right, so let's take a look at the list. Obviously, we'll put the Wookiees in first and we'll sort of build around them. We need the land speeder in as well. We're just going to use the stuff we've got. So Wookiees and double air speeder is quite popular at the minute. Obviously, the air speed is used to distract whilst the Wookiees get over. So we can actually use the land speeder for that in its place. We do have an air speeder as well. We're going to pop that in there. Or you can just go two of these. I know these are cheaper, but obviously you have to add the guns and stuff and it starts to add up. For example, the rocket is 31 points. So it adds up very quickly. We will start to do the upgrades after we got sort of a bare bones army. So obviously we need the 3 core units. So we'll add 3 of those. We're not really going to add upgrades to those anyway. Commander-wise, Chewbacca is really good as an operative and it pairs really well with Han. And gives us some janky combos to mess with our opponent as well. It's quite good to go for. We still do have a few more points, but I am worried about upgrades once we've added them. So we're going to do those first as we're getting closer to our total. So for Wookiees, I like to run either double bowcaster or bowcaster and a shield. So if we go shield, bowcaster on the other one, it gives us a range version, well, slightly stronger at range, and then like a more melee orientated. Obviously, the aim for both of these is to get over the map. So recon intel can be quite popular. It lets you move once you've set up. Just get across the map slightly quicker. Because we are running Chewie, we don't want these guys to run away with it though. And we want to keep Chewie nearby. So I'm going to leave that one out for this army. Got to be a little careful with points as well. The airspeed is quite easy to set up, so we'll just quickly add Wedge and the Power Harpoon. 135 points for that. That's normally the common setup. Land speed is a little more tricky because it's not really used that often, so it's going to be down to preference for us. I do think since we have the land speeder, it's a good time to add R2-D2. If you don't know what he does, basically, if you can get him in your opponent's area, you're going to get a victory point, so it's a great way to actually win games. And I think it's probably one of the best Rebel units. I know he wasn't in my top 5, but I've played a ton, I've read a ton, I've watched a ton since then. I almost feel like I should redo my Rebel one because I am happy with my other ones, but my Rebel one is so far off where it should be. But we will get into that at some other point. So we've got R2 because he can jump in the land speeder and we can drive him across quite easily. You can also repair it, so that's quite good. I think we need to get, it's got Arsenal 3, so we need at least 3 guns on this thing. Obviously, rifle gunner for a point is an easy include. And then I quite like the Mark II, 4 black dice, 1 to 3 range, 26 points. That seems pretty good. So we are getting there now. We are almost complete. Our Wookiees do need tenacity. It's an easy include. If they get wounded, we get an extra red dice up close, which is where we want them to be. So that's an important one. The Wookiees do also get duelists, so they can gain Pierce if they spend an aim token. So a lot of people run offensive push, which I think is another important one that you need to have on these guys. And that puts us at a full army. So basically, they'll get the aim token when they move. So use that when you need to, when you're up close. And you can gain PS1, which is always good. Yeah, a lot of basic units, so a lot of stuff without upgrades, but we've gone into the stuff which is more important. Our Wookiees, we want to use the air speeder and land speeder to not only distract our opponent and deal some damage, but also drop R2 off and score some victory. Once he's hit, he does get inconspicuous, so he's a little safer. I wouldn't worry about him. And I think that's a pretty good list. We've got Chewie to Guardian, the Wookiees and Han. So we can just push them up and deal some damage. Pretty happy with how this team looks. Obviously, I don't know if I'm going to play something like this at the event. It depends if we do 1v1s or just a big game. And again, I don't want to play anything too competitive, which I think this probably would be, despite the fact of the land speeder and stuff added. Yeah, I'll probably strip some of this back. Maybe do my Mandalorians with it, so like some Wookiees. Probably do 2 sets of Wookiees, the Clan Wren, Sabine Wren, which I've painted recently. And yeah, just a few like funner things to show off cool looking characters for new players and hopefully interest them into joining the game full time. But yeah, this is quite a good list that I would run if I went to a tournament, honestly. I'd be happy running this. Obviously, I'd rather replace the land speeder, but it is very cheap. And it's not too far off the air speeder. The air speeder is a little more agile. It's got a little more movement, a little more damage. But yeah, it's difficult to complain for, there's quite a few, like 50 points difference. So yeah, I'm quite happy with this list. And this is what I will play if we do play in more competitive matches. Otherwise, I'm probably going to take some Mandos and just have some fun. It's now the day after the tournament. So we did play it slightly different. So we didn't do 1v1s in like a tournament format. We did big 2v2 matches, 600 points each person. So I wanted to change my list anyway, because there was no way I was going to run full Wookiees with all the accessories and all the airspeeder stuff and everything. I still ran the airspeeder. It was sort of just to fill points, really. I wanted to play the land speeder, but then I was left with quite a few points. Could have maybe put in another core, but basically what I did, I ran the 3 core units. I ran Sabine Wren, because I've not used her yet, and she's sort of mid-table, and then, again, still good. I think the Mandalorians are good, but I think they are probably the worst of the special forces, so I went for them. I wanted something more fun. I do worry I took a little too much out of my list, but I had a really fun game. Our table was really, I wouldn't say there was any heavily competitive teams there. The other table looked a little nasty. It had Padme and droid tanks and all of that stuff. But yeah, we played it out. It was basically we're just marching over and firing some shots off, just rolling some dice, having some fun, nothing competitive. Just, yeah, it was just really fun. There were some really cool moments. Vader got over and wiped out my Wookiee unit quite early. Obviously, the 3 of them, it's a little easier to take out without some of the specials, making them more powerful as well. But obviously, he had to, because even without all of that extra stuff on them, they are very dangerous. So that was really cool. There was a moment between them. Obviously, Sabine Wren saw what happened, so she had to avenge them. And surprisingly, she did against Darth Vader, which was, again, a very cool moment. It was a very cinematic and epic battle. It went on for most, if not all of the game. My teammate had a giant clone tank. I'm not actually sure what its name is, but he was firing off shots with that. He blew up the enemy craft. It was a really cool moment. Really cool to see Rex on the board. I've not seen him before. To see a ton of the clones. Some really nice painted stuff. I will flash up pictures of the game as I'm talking. But yeah, just some really cool stuff. Our table in general was painted up mostly. My teammate was very new to the game, so he hadn't had a chance. I had stuff that wasn't fully painted. There was the odd bits, but it was cool seeing it all on the table with some really cool terrain. And just a really fun event. Honestly, I had a ton of fun. It was a very long day. So yeah, I probably need to be a bit more prepared for that next time, because I think the game went on 5 hours and we didn't even play our last turn. And we were even there before that, before it got going, just when we arrived. Obviously stuff setting up and preparing teams and all of that stuff getting ready took quite a while. So I think we just need to probably eat in advance or take something with us next time. But it's one of those things, like I've been to a ton of tournaments in the past, and it's just sort of preparation is probably more important than the thing itself. But yeah, met a ton of cool people, really nice players. The atmosphere at Dice Cavern Games is unbelievable. I play Star Wars there, I play board games there now. It's just a really nice atmosphere. So if you're looking for somewhere to play, I would say go check out Dice Cavern Games, which I will link in the description. If you've made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. I've really enjoyed getting back to the hobby, painting, spending so much time on it. I haven't done a lot of painting and stuff, again, for a month or two now. I've sort of done a little bit. I've done a little Middle Earth and other stuff, but I haven't focused on Star Wars because I got a ton of that painted. But obviously with the new models, I really enjoyed doing this, and I really enjoyed the event. It was a ton of fun just to get some games played, to meet some new people, to play with people that I've seen around the shop before. They attend the same board game nights and stuff like that. So it was just really fun to do that, and to get to play some of these characters that I've not played before, play some of the units I've not, and just get some Star Wars games in, honestly. If you're a Star Wars fan, make sure you subscribe, as there will be battle reports, tier lists, all the other stuff. As I get more and more into the game, I will be doing more of the competitive side as well, if you're interested in that, because I do enjoy that aspect of things. This was only the start of that, so like I said, make sure you subscribed if you did enjoy this video, leave a like, and I will catch you in the next one.